Intention.
Hello and welcome to Command Protocol Podcast, episode 24. You're joined by your hosts, Pink Matt and Red Andy. Andy is cosplaying as a tomato today.
Yeah.
You got a little bit sunburned, did you?
Andy had a little bit too much sun. Yes.
A little bit too much sun, and I had a lot of indoors. So,
Yes, you
how was
are.
your weekend?
My weekend or my week?
Your week. It's been a full week. How was
My
that?
week was good. I had some practice games where I played your list,
This was my list.
our list,
My
and
list.
you changed one unit from my list. Come on, let's be honest.
No.
Anyway, I played that list into a couple of my friends in preparation for the team tournament that you went to. Unfortunately, it didn't go very well for them, but they learned plenty from the game. None of them were played into you though, so that was a shame. And then
That's probably what they learned.
And then I decided I wasn't pasty white enough, so I went to the cricket at Old Trafford to watch England play India, and decided that I would just sit in the sun for 8 hours.
How long does a game of cricket usually last?
5 days.
5 for a game? And I thought one of my games was slow. Fucking hell. 5 days for one game?
No, I only went for one. Drank some beer.
That's crazy.
Watched some cricket. Yeah, it was good.
No wonder you got a fucking sunburn sat outside for 5 days.
The camera makes it look a lot worse than it actually is.
Yeah. Okay, you're glowing. So today we're going to be talking about, very briefly, my allies, just like then my time at Allies. Then we're going to be talking about some of the lists at the ITT, which is this weekend, which neither of us can make, unfortunately, because I'm moving house. You probably can't see very well, but there's like cardboard boxes all behind me. I'm putting on. I've got so many unbuilt models. That's the worst bit. And you're not going as well either. So why are you not going? You're working? Is that right?
I am working, unfortunately. Again.
Life is
hard. So you know what that means, don't you, Matt?
What does that mean?
It means Necron win rate's going to be really shit again this week.
Let's go, boys! We're so ego free in this podcast. But I'm looking forward to running through some of the lists, and then what else we're going to talk about? Yeah, then we're going to do kind of a rank from 1 to 6 of the best factions and why, and we're just going to be talking about probably the strengths.
Not factions.
No,
detachments.
Sorry, I keep saying the wrong word. Our detachments for our faction, rank 1 through 6. And people already know what number 6 is, so it's pretty much 1 through 5.
And I guarantee we're not going to agree on anything. We're going to argue about it the whole way through.
And that's why people watch us, baby. Lovely bit of banter.
Right.
So, we're going to be talking about that. And I think that's about it, right? So that's what we're covering. And remember, guys, if you like what you see, like, comment, subscribe. Like it all, comment on it. Tell us what you liked, what you didn't like, how much we stare into the camera or how much we don't. We are doing this one take only. It doesn't matter if I disconnect 1,000 times.
1,000 times would get on my tits a bit too much.
Well, yeah.
Once we learn how to record 2 videos and put them together, then we'll just cancel this for a bit until he comes back.
Yeah, I'll be learning how to copy and paste.
No. You just decided to disappear again.
That's it. So,
right.
Let's go.
Allies. You went to Allies. You didn't win.
I didn't win. I didn't even win all my games. But Team Stonehammer.
What about Team Stonehammer?
And we went into them after you betrayed me and
I did not. Did I not give you loads of feedback on the 2 games that I played?
You did, but that doesn't fit my narrative. So you did give me a lot of feedback, and it was quite helpful. I ended up not playing either of those players.
Nope.
I went into Imperial Knights, which I initially had down as a win because I was like, well, he can't really kill me, and if I can get on the points, then great. But I chose a bad map. That was the start. I chose a really shit map for me where I had to deploy too far away. And he basically just eventually got on the points, got too much OC onto the middle. I couldn't get him off it. And it ended in a 7 to me, unfortunately. And I was the only person that lost on my team that round.
That's so.
So we ended up winning the round. But then I came back strong, played into the Scotland B team. I played against Corn Demons. They have a really annoying mechanic that when you move within 6 inches of them, they can make a surge move into combat, D6. But again, just doesn't have the. He's not durable. He doesn't have enough damage to kill me before I can pull away. And I was just dominating the primary. He got 15 all game. That was a 16-4. We won that round as well, quite comfortably.
Nice.
Then the third round we played against Army Reactor, which has got a couple of our friends on: Mike Dorf, Pete Dorf, Reese Darville. I played against a guy called Ash Loftus. He was playing Gladius Ultramarines. I had this was my one of my few big wins in the tournament. I predicted because he was running triple Repulsor Executioner. So I was like, right, I'm just going to like smash that list. And I did, in fact, smash that list. I chose the board, and it was a perfect board this time. So I learned my lessons.
What board did you pick? Can you remember?
I think it was board 2 or board 7. It was a
I,
heavy, so I think it was 7.
I played board 2.
But this is board 7 on Hammer and Anvil,
Right.
not Tipping Point. And it basically just has like really, really good center staging ruins where you can hide behind the ruins, hide all your shit everywhere, like wherever you want, really close to the middle. And you just couldn't control the primary at all. I was on his home by turn 4 with my characters, and yeah, he just couldn't score like ever. Couldn't kill the Warriors and couldn't score. So that was a big win. That was 18-2 in the end. Then round 4, we played against Scotland. Obviously, we go home. Well, we went to the hotel, chatted, tried to think of a plan. And then I played against T-Suns. I attacked T-Suns, and I got 15-5 because he did one-shot one of my bricks, like with 2 squads.
How is that one-shotting when it's 2 squads?
Because he killed it from full health to no health in a turn. That's what I consider one-shotting. He
One-shotting
didn't
is when
one.
it's one activation, right?
Right, well, okay, fine. I got it wrong. He 2-tapped me.
He two-tapped you. Did you not write Resurrect in between?
I did, but the guy that does the sustained 3 killed
Yeah,
like 12 warriors by himself.
it's crazy, that guy. For like 80
Yeah,
points or whatever he is.
he was re-rolling hits. He was re-rolling wounds because I was on my home objective. So he was re-rolling hits, re-rolling wounds, and they were plus AP. So he just shredded me.
It
Just
was
absolutely
the
shredded.
Chronomancer squad, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, he just absolutely shredded me. Orican did bonk Magnus back the next turn, so Magnus did die. But I was already going to win. He had 16 points to my 40 at one point, so he clawed it back at the end, and we did lose the round unfortunately because nearly everyone else lost their game.
So, did you not tank your score so he wouldn't get challenger cards?
No, because I had to push hard. In a teams game, when I'm trying to push to win, I'm not going to tank my score.
You should always push to win.
And yeah, I probably felt that way. I mean, we would have won the round if he didn't get challenger cards. So it's just fucking how it is. He scored like 9 points on challenger cards while having nothing, pretty much nothing untagged. I terraformed his home turn 3 like that with the solo chronomancer that survived from being the whole squad being killed. The one chronomancer lived. He just went on his home and
But
terraformed it.
I mean that's his big mistake. He should not have moved off his home objective.
He
Knowing
did.
you
He
could do that.
crystalled. He
Yeah,
crystalled.
but he should never have left nothing on there. He should have had a rhino on there or something.
Yeah, the rhino was at the front. He basically just didn't. He should have had goats there or something, but which was his mistake. But yeah, it was 15-5. Like I was pretty comfortable in the matchup, having played against Alex like before, but not with this many warriors. Actually, I don't even know if I played his T-Suns before. I've watched his T-Suns played a lot, so I kind of understood the idea of it.
Yeah,
And then
plus
he was,
you had my feedback from my game against
yeah,
T.
oh yeah, that too, yeah. And I have played the T-Suns game before. He was lovely than my opponent. Honestly, probably the best opponent of the weekend. He was super, super sound. Team Scotland, I can't remember his name. He was so nice, really, really nice. And then round 5, we played into Team Wales, and I played the Necron Mirror. I played into Canoptic Court, and they were like, "Oh, I defended, and they attacked into me with Necrons and Chaos Knights, and they were like, "Oh, you're just obviously I'm going to refuse Chaos Knights because I'm not going to win that." And they're
Well,
like,
you could
"Oh,
do.
well, he had double Gatling, so
That doesn't do anything.
it literally does because it's fucking 36 shots with sustained. It does." And then he can also just run forward, and I can't. It's the same thing with the Imperial Knights. Like I promise you that your Chaos Knight player played it wrong when you played against him because he can literally just run, like kill everything off the middle, and
The,
just
o-
sit
the,
on the
the
points.
only thing he did in that game that I thought was wrong was instead of putting the models fully on the objective, he just kind of
That's what I
towed them
mean.
on a bit. But that's because I
Yeah.
positioned myself so they couldn't really get further on.
Yeah, but
Uh,
it's like first turn then. If he just runs forward, I can't do anything about it. I'd rather just take the win because I
yeah,
knew I was going to win into Canoptic Court
yeah.
because he was like, "Oh, it's a draw, this isn't it? You're just gonna," and then all of his team were coming over and like, "You guys are just going to play Warhammer for 3 hours and have a draw." And I was thinking in my head like, "No, I'm pretty sure I can just absolutely smash this."
Hmm.
Because he's hitting the Chronomancer squad on fives, and he'll never hold the points, so he's rerolling ones.
Yeah,
So he just doesn't do any significant damage.
it
He doesn't. He
doesn't.
tried to block the points off, but he couldn't. And
Yeah,
I just he got 9 primary all game because it was
it,
linchpin.
the command barge is so good, right? In double warriors, having OC3 warriors was, I mean, that's
Yeah,
what made the difference in my games against Chaos Knights was having OC3. So when my opponent up he down and he'd melt a guy, he had the choice of reanimator, command barge, or ghost arc, and we both agreed that the command barge was like the most important thing to
it
actually
is.
kill because they just made it so much harder for me to hold the objectives, especially with his battle shot mechanics, where you're always going to have one model lost from that
Yeah,
warrior unit,
that's
having
why it is a
OC1
loss.
as well.
Like, I
But
feel like it's draw loss territory, and I hadn't played the match, and I'd just come off like Imperial Knights. So like, I'd rather you just put me into something good, and then we had answers for Chaos Knights still
yeah,
left over. So I was like, it was
yeah,
just better for the team, just to for me to take Canoptic Court away because it's a big blunter into a lot of
yeah,
our team,
yeah. That
and
would
then
put
yeah,
them.
and I knew I was going to get a win. And he was really nice as well. He let me have a really big take back because I said I was going to move some flayed ones and then charge his Psychomancer, and I moved charge shot with my whole army, and then didn't fight, and I was like, I completely forgot to move these flayed ones. Do you mind if I move them? And he let me do it, so it was
But
nice.
that's good because you when you're talking about intent and how you play the game, if you do forget it, then that's why you tell
Yeah,
people what you're going to do
he
for
was
that
super
exact reason.
nice. But I was talking so fast to try and like get because it move. I've never ever played to clock so many. I mean, I never clocked out one time. My opponent actually clocked out before me every time, and at the beginning of each game, my opponent would be like, "Oh, we'll just do it by turn." I would like no, I was like, "No, like you need to put the clock on me while I'm taking like saves, feeling the pains, and rezzing." I was like, "You
Yeah,
have to do because I wouldn't feel fair
yeah,
like you like just doing it all on your time while I'm rezzing models and deciding what I want to do."
yeah.
But yeah, it was a good game. We won, so we won 4, lost 1, and it was a narrow loss. I think we needed 4 diff points to win and to draw.
The draw.
Um, and as I said, we had 2 draws, 2 wins, and 4 losses in the Scotland round, and they're still all really solid players, like C2 team. I'm really happy with that. How we did. And then obviously I'll just quickly summarize. The reason I took the list, obviously the list was 40 warriors with 3 Scorp Lords and the 2 lots of Scorpex and the supporting items, and that's it. The reason I took it is because it can blunt most things. It's terrible into Death Guard. It can blunt most things, so I can still get a score out of it by like refusing to play Warhammer against them. And then also it can attack and pin stuff because there's a lot of armies out there that can't deal with it. So you can just guarantee that you're just going to get a big score into a lot of these armies, and it just takes away. So basically, what we did is we dropped guard first every time. We do the, and then even in the next drop, if a couple of like my bad matchups went away, we'd drop me, or we'd like save me to the scrum in the end to like make sure that I get into a good game, and then we pretty much, we'd pin me, like we'd pin somebody with me and something equally as bad, but they'd underestimate what my list is, so then they'd pick my list, and then I'd just like run away with a score.
Yeah,
So
the only downside of the list realistically is it doesn't have that, that one turn when you really need to just absolutely delete two things. It struggles to do
yeah,
that.
you can't do that. But like, it's just all about tricks. It's
Yeah,
tagging, movement tricks, move blocking. They're like the main ones.
yeah. So
But
when I
I was
played,
just tagging everything all the time.
yeah, when I played Chaos Knights, I would fall back, and then he would have a Lancer and a Rampager sat in the center, and I was charging his Rampager and his Lancer every turn with the Warriors just so
Mhm.
they couldn't move anywhere.
Yeah,
And he's like, "Are you sure you want to do that? I've got like a billion attacks." I'm like, "Yeah, that's fine. I've got my Ghost Arc. I've got my Strat. You're going to kill two Warriors on average through all of that. That's fine. And
yeah,
then I'm keeping you in spot. I'm taking you primary away. And then when I'm falling back, I'm shooting. And I actually killed three big knights in the first three turns. I think it was maybe four turns.
yeah.
And
I killed
toward,
zero.
towards the end, it didn't matter about shooting them. But at that time, I had to kind of kill them because of where they were.
Yeah,
But
I didn't even put one down to half wounds, and I was like shooting it with two squads of warriors like a turn. And but as I said, I chose a bad board against Imperial Knights, so I just couldn't get the staging points of my score picks.
yeah,
I put one in reserves. I just wasn't playing well, to be honest with you. I was like super rusty, but I really like got into the groove of it by like game three. I was like proper back into my flow again. So it's super strong. Fucking, it felt so. It was horrible to play as and against because it's just mindless, like mind numbing, resin,
boring.
stringing. I
It
mean,
was
I
boring.
enjoy it because I enjoy it. I do enjoy it.
Well,
I don't like it and I do like it.
I was meant to play three games with it on Thursday. After the second game, I was just like, oh, I just can't be asked playing another 40 Warriors. So I bust out some Death Guard instead.
Yeah, yeah, it is a lot of fun for me. Like I enjoy just the tricks that you can do.
Now and then, I
Um,
think it's all right, but I don't think I'd want to take it and like
hmm,
play it as like my main army all the time. I could do it for one event, like if I was going to the ITT, I would consider taking something similar to that. But it's just
yeah.
yeah, and the Chronomancer as well. Like having the threat of activation with the Veil of Darkness. I never actually used it in either of my games, but it was there every turn, and it had to be like, well, I have to leave these guys
Mhm.
back to screen just in case. However, we were playing on supply drop because that was the round they were playing against you, and you don't really care about your home objective. So if it had been something like Terraform or Linchpin, then it would have been a bit more impactful, I think,
Yeah,
because they would have definitely had to screen. But
I played two. I used it sorry in two of five of my games, so it was just like the threat of it being there,
yeah,
and also the real reason I wanted it is because against some armies, you can if they hang back, if you go second and they hang back off the objectives to stop you from being able to move and charge, you just pick the unit up, drop outside, and then like fire and fade forward.
yeah,
If
and
they
you just
like
you move block them as long as your characters are still within range of all your
you
resources, which is
just
easily
reposition.
done. You're just using it as a, I'm sure, reposition and string out is so fine that they're
Mhm.
just going to be like, oh shit, what do I do? Um,
Yeah,
yeah, so,
and having that like extra squad of warriors just to really lock that. Like you could have one squad like focusing on the primary on two of them,
hmm,
and then the other squad's like attacking theirs, but also like stringing out towards their home and starting to like really put all of their effort
yeah.
into tagging all of their units. So like one's hitting the primary and one's just tagging everything. That's
So
kind of how it went.
I used Orican squad aggressively to deal with their primary scoring.
Yeah,
You
me
know,
too.
stand near the center and stop them getting there, and then just
Hmm.
literally stand on their flank. And then I used my Chronomancer squad. I mean, I was using a fire and fade, so like the Royal Warden was getting some shots quite
Yep.
nicely, and they were just there to like control the my flank objective
Hmm.
and make sure that my opponent couldn't threaten areas that I wasn't like particularly well defended. So just screening out the back, making sure that okay, you've got like a big knight or these drones here. Well, I'm just going to stand these guys here so you can't get through this area. And then later on, because it was supply drop, I moved them, you know, off towards the center where the last objective was, so that I had like a billion warriors there at the end.
That's exactly
And
it.
it worked out quite nicely, to be honest.
Yeah, it just takes a lot of practice, I think, to
Hmm.
make sure everything's in the right spot. Because again, that first game, I mispositioned like one warrior so his lancer could charge and touch the point.
Yeah.
And if I just had a warrior there, he just doesn't get on the point, and then I only have to contest one knight's OC
Yeah.
instead of. So like I just wasn't thinking about like, okay, where can he go when he charges me or falls back? You need to control space, which
Hmm.
is what it does. But
Yeah.
yeah, it was super super good. Like really impressed with it. I'm taking it to War Masters. I'm glad that I went and took the same list because now I've got like really good practice
Yeah.
with the list. So hopefully, it should be doing all right with
You
it.
just gotta hope you don't run into Votan with all the Thunderkin.
Nobody's playing that. Like nobody's playing that kind of stuff. So and there's that many players. I could just play Chaos Imperial Knights, and it's a tough one. Or Death Guard's tough. I'm just going for.
Could play the Necron Mirror every round. You never know,
Yeah, I'll just win that though, so it's fine.
unless they have a vault.
No, 40 warriors is the vault counter. Not 20.
Okay,
So
so
lists.
ITT. Yeah, let's have a
Yes.
quick look. Is there anything interesting?
I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, not 10 lists, but it's just going to be quick run through them, and then the last list we talk about will be able to lead us off into the discussion of the best factions.
Yeah.
So first list we've got here is by somebody that that's not what I wanted. Oh yeah, it's because I'm clicking the wrong button. That's why. There we go. Look at that. So
Simon Nichols.
this is just it's just was this actually one? This is just like a version of my old list actually. So, but this is a guy that watches the channel. He's just using Awakened. He's just using my old style list with our list.
He does
With
have
the
he has the barge, which is something that we didn't have
yeah
in Awakened Dynasty.
yeah, and he's got the double Psychomancer stuff. So he's going like the usual stuff, but I think I just had that up because I was looking at it. Okay, so we'll have a look at this one.
Some things just don't die, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
and
look,
we'll have
another
this one.
Awaken.
Well, so this is another Awakened player. He's kind of just gone like a really. I wanted to talk about this one because there's some things obviously missing that we were discussing before the podcast.
Yeah.
We'll just like touch up on it and give our thoughts because it's probably just a good idea to talk about it. So he's got Scorpet Lord, triple Technomancer, triple Wraiths, double DDA, double Ophidian, triple Scorp.
Yeah, in Awakened, it just feels like he's missing a lot of stuff there. And just off the top of my head, I mean, you can make a note of this. He's missing Fialo Pain on the Scorpet Lord, Illuminator Serras. He's missing Reanimator, Crypto Thralls, potentially a Command Barge with 3 squads of Wraiths. Like, damn, that's a lot of stuff
So
to
the
miss.
main thing,
And the Stealth Enhancement, and the Veil of Darkness
mm,
Enhancement. Like,
so the main thing that I've seen is that a Scorpet Lord's is Warlord as well. So instead of a Technomancer,
yeah.
because if you're playing against Imperial Knights, then that Scorpet Lord dies, then you're just never killing those big knights. So you have to, and we could trade out like the Scorpex here for flayed ones and the Field of Pain enhancement, and then maybe one of the 2 Ophidian squads for the
Crypto
stealth
and the Veil.
enhancement or something like that, or and then maybe some cryptos in there, or like you don't even need the 2 DDAs with 3 raids because you're going for pure primary denial.
Yeah.
So you could get the unique. You could get all 3 of those rave squads a crypto for all, or like 2 a crypto for all, and then a reanimator, right, for a DDA, just to make them extra good.
Like, I can understand, because one thing missing from your list is that one turn when you really need to delete a unit, you haven't got the DDAs to do it. However, because he's running 3 squads of Wraith, the odds are whatever he wants to kill is going to be tagged with Wraith, and I hate falling back with Wraith because then they don't do anything. So if you're going to take some big guns to back up that stuff, then you're probably looking best at like Locust Heavy Destroyers instead of Doomsday Arcs, because you don't need the little chaff shots because you've already got all that from your 18 Wraiths already in your Scorpet Destroyers. Like, you don't need to kill more chaff with Doomsday because everything else just kills chaff quite easily. So you cut the DDAs, you cut Ophidians, you cut 1 squad of Scorpex. That's a lot of points that you've got to fill in the gaps, get the enhancements in there, the Reanimator, the Crypto Thralls, the Barge, and then some Locust Heavies if you do want those big guns at the end.
Less is more with a Necron list. Like, if you've got fewer units that are just overall stronger, like our units are better when they're bunched up. You know, like the stacking buffs, like the extra thralls is essentially what 9 wounds extra or something.
Yeah, with the feeling of pain.
With the feeling of pain, because it's obviously 6, and then feeling of pain is like an extra 3 wounds, and then the stealth obviously makes one of the squads a lot hard, like 13% harder to hit, which is obviously really important. And then one of the Scorpet lords will have 50% damage reduction,
Yeah,
essentially.
but he
Like,
runs solo as well, for example.
yeah, and then he can run solo, do actions. Like, he's pretty much just got 2 Ophidian squads that are going to be going up and down. But then you ask yourself, like, what's actually holding his home if Ophidians both have to go up?
Yeah, I mean, the Amphibians will probably go up and then come down in the same spot most of the time until he finally
Yeah,
decides to throw them away for 4 points on a card, because you don't do that turn one.
unless you're me. For 1 point on fucking engage. But
Yeah,
I
we've all done
digress.
that. We've all done that.
I digress. It's just me
Yeah.
on stream of curse. But
So
yeah,
for me, I'd give this list a bit of an F. It just
yeah,
misses out
it's
on everything it's trying to do.
it's gone like, I'm taking like 3 units of this, 3 units of this, DDA support. But then at the end of the day, if your opponent's looking down the barrel at this list, you're like, well, it's just not even that durable.
No.
Okay, if I shoot the Wraith and kill 3 Wraiths, he's getting 1 back,
Yeah.
basically.
And
Like, he's getting 3 wounds back from the strat, and he's getting another 2 wounds back. He's getting 1 and a bit back. Like, it's
he's healing too, maybe from a techno. And
yeah,
the thing is, the reanimator is what makes the strat so strong.
exactly.
And yeah, without it's almost not even worth doing half the time.
Yeah,
Unless
so
it's a desperation move, I guess.
dropping down to 1 DDA, 1 Ophidian, 1 score pack, and just getting those enhancements in there and a bit more like centerboard scoring. Flayed ones are fantastic on UKTC.
Yeah, and they're just fantastic in
They're
general
just
because it's
great. They're just
60
so good.
points. Yeah.
Like, what I found the use for them in WTC, because knights are so prevalent, is that they can screen out where the knights can stand first turn, so it just protects massive firing angles by sacrificing a 60
Yeah.
point unit.
I mean, half the time it's not even a sacrifice, because a lot of the time I look at them and go, well, they've got stealth and I've only got so many chaff shots. I don't want to put like a big battle cannon into them because I wanted them to go into the race or the DDA or your Scorpex or something. So more often than not, they undercommit and they actually survive anyway. So it's not even a sacrifice sometimes.
Yeah, they are pesky.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just good to cover some lists on how to improve. I think when you're making a Necron list, because I see it quite often, people doing that, where I would always put the characters in with the enhancements straight away. Like, you wouldn't take a command barge and Star Shatter without rerolls, right? Like, rerolls on it.
Well, you would be if it's the second one.
True.
Next.
So we've got a Hypercrypt list, and I think this is the only Hypercrypt list in the tournament. I did have a look through all the lists. We have a representation of every detachment except Annihilation Legion, and there's usually a guy that does run that, which I'm sad to not see him. So he's playing 1 Hexmark with no enhancement, so he's only got 2 pickups.
Yeah.
Imatech for extra CP, but I don't really understand what. Oh yeah, no, of course I do, because it's further down the list.
Yes.
But yeah, extra CP, 2 Technomancers in Hypercrypt, because everybody just can't help themselves. Silent King, he's always good in Hypercrypt. Spider, obviously, I rant and rave how good that is. 2 Wraith Bricks, but no Thralls. Only 1 Death Mark, 1 DDA, 1 Flayed one, and then a bloody Monolith.
Yeah, Monolith's coming back.
Monolith back, maybe. So, what is the first thing that you have noticed with this list? That I know you always. Okay, ignoring that, one thing that you always say about something that you need a lot of in Hypercrypt lists.
Yeah, you need more Deep Strike.
There you go.
There's 3 units, which isn't enough. Even if you've only got 2 pickups, it's still not enough.
It's not even 3. It's the Monolith.
Yeah, Monolith has it, but that's
I know that already.
But
yeah, it's just not, and it's not enough. He's going to really struggle. He's going to be coming in from the board edges, which is good on UKTC. They are very open board edges, but you just need more than this.
I mean,
he's only got 2 pickups as well.
The Monolith is like a pseudo third pickup because you can ping the race through. But if you want to do that turn 1 going second, you have to pick up the other unit that's coming through as well.
You do, yes.
So
thank you about
that. I hope he knows that. But it's like the Monolith is it's the detachment. It's made for the monolith, isn't it? But
Yeah,
I race coming through. They've got the durability, but they don't necessarily have the damage output, and it's going to be a lot of CP for them
yeah,
to do
a
stuff.
lot.
Do you want to spend 2 CP on a race squad charging out of a monolith?
Or like
Sometimes,
it
yes,
pulls
but
back through it, I guess.
I mean, yeah, but then he's not got the crypto thralls, so they're not that resilient. He's not got reanimator again. So, because one thing that people used to do back when Hypercrypt started was they'd run 2 monoliths and they'd have a reanimator. And then whenever someone was shooting the Wraiths or the Warriors or the Lich Guard, they'd pull it through the monolith within reanimator range, leave them there. They would then reanimate, and then they'd go through the other monolith the following turn and be able to charge out of it. But he hasn't got that dual monolith kind of capability because obviously, if one monolith is surrounded, then you go to the other monolith and the other, and vice versa. So yeah,
Yeah,
it's a very greedy list. It's not got the damage output that you would expect from a hypercrypt list because there's only one DDA, one Silent King, and one monolith, and that is the shooting
yeah,
done.
and that's like 1,000 points there. So
It's
thousand
literally.
and twenty.
Yeah, and if I'm sat there as like a Gladius Ultramarines player and I'm looking at that as your only shooting, bearing in mind you can only pick up 2 of those units, so only 2 of them can ever get into the right position, then I am not that scared of
Like, this
this.
is a
Of those
field day
really.
for like the 40 warrior list. Like
Yeah,
this 40 warrior list. Just tag. You can just tag everything, and
yeah.
and it just cover. It will screen out the whole board.
Like the monolith would just be so shit against the
GSC would
warrior.
be so good against this. Like just for example, the 8 that England have taken, like Death Guard can just indirect the spider off the board with PBCs or like
Mm,
all of the chaff, so it just has to stay in
don't
reserves.
know about that one.
Yeah, because it would be toughness. Toughness 5
7.
doesn't matter.
No, it'd be
Toughness
tough. It'd be
6.
toughness 7 because he wouldn't be in
Yeah, but
contagion range.
yeah, he picks it. He just goes, "That's in
Yes,
contagion
Silent
range."
King ignores that. So
Yeah, but why were you wouldn't choose ignore mods when you need the
if,
rerolls for the
if I'm
mon.
playing Hammer, I might do.
Yeah, I mean it's tough. When
I
I
think
chose it against Hammer,
even
or
against champions, you might take it because you don't know at which point they're going to pick -1 to hit if you're within contagion range, and all of a sudden your actual damage is all hitting on 4s. You're like, ugh.
yeah, I mean I think it's good. They can just pick all the chaff up like Imatech. He can hurt.
2 up save, probably
Well,
fine.
it'll be a 3 up if because not everything's going to be in range of the Silent
Yeah,
King.
that's fair.
So and he does mortal wounds as well. They can do mortal wounds as well. So
Yeah,
it is probably likely that he dies.
I don't mind
Um,
Emotech by himself in Awakened because if he
mhm,
does die, you can get him back up. But in
exactly.
this detachment, you can't.
So
So
yeah, but obviously, yeah, like guard would just smash this like Nass's guard because he's just got so much OC denial
hmm.
and speed. Yeah, and screening as well is the main thing. He's got massive amounts of screening. And Tetons would probably be all right into this as well.
You see, I my ethos for Hypercrypt has changed now from how we were playing it before. Now it's just an army that you just move up the table like all the other ones, and then you use the uppy downy to reposition your scoring and screening pieces, so that your main guns just walk along the table like you would do with any other detachment, and then you pick up the hex marks every turn, so you guarantee yourself a good sabotage, behind enemy lines, stuff like that. Um,
Hmm.
that's how I look at it now, and that's why I haven't been playing it because it doesn't have the damage output buffs
Yeah,
that the other armies do.
it's
So
just so expensive now, and it's just not in the right meta for it.
yeah, and
But
the meta's
yeah,
pretty.
all right, we'll jump into another one. We've got another Awaken list. What was different about this? Maybe this is one I don't know. I think this is one I must have just clicked on because it's just basically Seeker's list in Awakened. It's just got 2 Scorpet Lords of one with the enhancement, 2 Wraiths, and then the Silent King. So it's just
Yeah,
nothing too interesting to talk about there.
there's added Sarah's obviously, but
Yeah.
auto taking awakened.
Uh, yeah, this is Star Shatter with 2 Catan and 2 Wraiths, 2 DVA. Again, pretty simple, but it's just got Catan in there to protect the Wraiths, I
So
guess, in combat.
no king, I'm guessing.
No King. He's got a command barge with rerolls instead.
Yeah, I mean the Catans are decently honed in Star Shatter. They
Yeah,
do
and then
get they do get the buffs.
it'd be okay into knights, like I suppose, because you can just sit behind walls with the wraiths, be annoying, and then if he comes forward to try and deal with the wraiths, he can reactive move them after he's shot
Yeah.
back behind the wall or something because UKTC is really good for that. And then the Catan's like there to kind of just body the knights.
I mean, it's better into Chaos than Imperial because Imperial will have fight on death. So if you get into Canis
Hmm.
or you get into a Lancer, then they're just going to kill your Catan in
Yeah.
return. And it might be a points trade in your favor, but in reality, it's not
Yeah.
because that's where your damage is. So,
Mm-hmm. All right, we'll jump to the next one.
but there's no -1 damage enhancement either in that one. So.
Oh, is there not? Damn.
No, right. So
Um,
Dits.
Dits. Ooh, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not going
Okay.
to bother. Not caught. He's playing Mark's lists basically. Triple Doomstalker, triple double Scarab, triple
don't
Ray,
tell me. Don't tell me that there's Locust. Oh,
double Death Marks. He's got 10-man squad of flayed ones, which Mark used to do all the time actually. And then he's got the I played so the guy from what's his face? The guy from Wales had these two squads. Do you know what they did? They came in,
nothing.
one came in, they killed one Scorpec because it wasn't on an objective and it was the closest. And then the other squad came in and shot my Scorpec Lord and did 2 damage.
They do not whelm me at all. They are
Yeah,
just so bad.
that was the first time I played against them, and I was like, I just didn't even care about them. But I guess it's just the army I was playing. I wasn't too bothered.
Yeah, the
Um,
10 man flayed ones is cute.
yeah, I like the 10-man flayed ones. It's quite funny.
It's just a shame that when the when their rule kicks in, when things are below half strength, 4, 5 probably kill whatever it is anyway. Unless it's like a
Yeah,
big ass knight, but then against a big ass knight, you're on
sixes.
sixes, re-rolling. Yeah,
It's not.
exactly. I mean, at least in Star Shatter, you're hitting on twos with everything sustained, and then you could be wounding on fives
Mhm.
with +1. So at least there's some play there, and you've got the barge to give you a res orb, and you've got a barge for extra OC, so they can get some support in Star Shatter. But in court, they lost at CO.
Mhm. Then we got James Grover from Goonhammer. He
Yeah,
always takes funky lists, so I kind of wanted to just cover it. It's Canoptic Court. He's got a barge in the court, which is obviously cool
I
because
like the barge.
we like barge with wraiths. He's got a Chronomancer with which one's that one? Is that the auto advance?
No, that's the one where you take mortals if you get charged.
Okay, I thought you'd go for the auto advance personally, but that's fair enough.
I don't like the auto
Um,
advance.
I just because he's got immortals, I thought it'd be like a good thing to have.
He's got Royal
Zeraz,
Warden though. Yeah,
yeah, Zeraz, Royal Warden to go with those boys. Scorpet Lord, um, Technomancer with the infiltrate, normal Technomancer, 10 Immortals, which is a bit of spice. It reminds me of back in when the Codex was first released, and you would run that with the dev wounds. That was
but
criminal.
you'd have Plasmancers in
Oh
there,
yeah, yeah.
so you'd get
We
like
actually did it.
52 shots out of a 10-man squad.
Yeah, and it was basically guaranteed 14 dev wounds or something.
Yeah,
Just crazy.
yeah, it was.
Imagine that in a night meta.
That would be nice. But then we had that taken off us within like 2 weeks, and
We had that. We have every Necron OP thing taken off us. Like Star Shatter was over nerfed
yeah, a
into
little bit,
oblivion.
a little bit.
But we'll cover that actually later on. He's got 2 Doomstalkers, not 3, which I don't like.
No,
Reanimator, 1 squad of Scarabs, 2 Ray squads, 1 lot of Thralls, Death Marks, Locust Destroyer, Scorpec, Athenians. Like, I guess he just wants a bit more melee
yeah,
punch with the Scorpex. I think it's fine,
that's
honestly.
probably a thing for knights.
Yeah, Little Knight, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but even a
Um,
big knight, you chip it down to half, and then you've got a
yeah, you can.
reasonable chance
Yeah.
of killing
No
it.
flayed ones, unfortunately, but I guess you don't really need them
But
that much in
you've
this.
you've got the infiltrating
Yeah,
wraiths.
exactly. Yeah.
I mean, they're more of a thing to like move and tag turn one rather than the flayed ones controlling space.
Hmm.
It's also got Serras, which you know, if he's planning on running them alongside the Immortals, then you might as well just take the Gauss for AP2
Yeah.
because
And then you can
AP1,
do ignore cover, right?
yeah, with the solar whatever it's called stratagem.
Yeah. Solar Pulse.
Thanks to yeah.
And then we've got James Reed, who always is. He is the UK Phalanx boy. I was just a pretender.
Yeah.
I was just a Volt Phalanx -1. I was a -1 damage main. That's what I was. I
But
wasn't.
he's still taking 30 Lich Guard.
he he's not got 30. He's got 20 Lich Guard.
He's got 3 Overlords, so
Yeah, but he's got a squad of Immortals
okay, yeah.
because he can do the crit 5 strat.
Yeah, so you go with the Chronomancer, I'm guessing.
So
Yeah.
yeah, he'll have full rerolls, which I think is Eternal Conqueror because it's the most expensive one.
On objectives, yeah.
Yeah, so full rerolls to hit, crit 5s.
Warrior,
This
what?
one's
Wait, hang on. Warrior Noble is
-1 to hit. I was doing Eternal
yeah
Conqueror.
in melee, and then Honorable Combatant is
Either
precision. No,
It's either precision devs on crits on dev wounds on 5s,
an anti-infantry 5 up.
and yeah, something like that, or it's like
Oh, it's the
what
one
else?
where you lose a CP, right? Because it's 10
Yeah, is
points.
it like if you kill
Yeah,
a character, they lose
they
a
lose a
CP,
CP.
which is quite funny to be fair.
It's really funny because they've got 1 CP. They're like, oh well, I'll just use it on something random. Yeah,
So you're not using it on shit, mate.
but then you don't kill their character, and they're like, oh well, I just wasted my CP.
Yeah, it is funny.
Yeah,
Silent King, obviously, because he's a Chad.
obviously.
5 immortals to hold the backfield. I'm gonna guess no Immatech. Oh, he does have Immatech. Okay.
Five immortals on the backfield, which could just be 5 death marks to save
Yeah,
10
I
points.
think they'll probably go with Immatech, right?
Yeah, but that seems like an awful lot,
Yeah, it's
doesn't
just a
it?
waste.
Unless
Yeah.
you're pushing him forwards, but then again, you don't want to push him forwards. So
No.
yeah,
No. Does he?
Tomb Blades are an interesting choice
He
as
has 10
well.
spare points, so I would have just put something at 80 points worth. But yeah, then he's got Tomb Blades and a Stalker. Only one Stalker, which I love the Stalkers, man.
Mhm.
In Phalanx on UKTC, they are so good. I would basically just drop these Tomb Blades and those Immortals and just put a Stalker in and something else. You've got like he's got 10 points spare
For
already. That's
you'd
145.
have 45 points spare.
Boom, a little destroyer done.
But you could get rid of the honorable combat and have 55 points and put in a
Another
heavy.
big destroyer,
Yeah,
or a Psychomancer just to be annoying because
yeah,
more OC tricks kind of thing. I'm just gonna unplug
yeah.
this. But yeah, we love James Reed anyway. I'm looking forward to seeing how he does. And then we've got my
Your four
my. I wasn't gonna say thrall. I was gonna say
underling.
copycat.
Your scarab.
My little man, my
Our
teammate Danny.
our favorite fake Necron player.
Yeah, the fakest Necron player that has ever existed because he doesn't know what any of our abbreviations are
He
or
doesn't
rules.
even have his name capitalized. Just
Yeah, I don't think anyone's done.
yeah, they do.
I hope they don't for his sake.
Yeah,
And you thought I'd stop at 1 unit of warriors. You obviously have no idea how much I copy Matt Bell and Andy.
with
That's
his yeah.
very surprised.
Can I just say from
But
the outset, Danny, this list is terrible.
I mean, yeah, he'll watch this and he'll comment on it, and he'll get really good pairings and he'll play into bad people, and then
Yeah,
he'll
I
he'll
love you,
break.
mate, but this is the wrong detachment for this list.
Why is this in Star Shatter, mate?
Why is this a Star Shatter? What
Just
is
play it
going
in a
on
river.
here? What is
I'm
going
gonna
on?
I'm gonna shit talk you because you're my friend. Why the fuck is this in Star Shatter? Like three. It's so we're gonna run through the list. Orican, command barge with the rerolls, Chronomancer with the fallback and shoot enhancement.
Yeah,
But the way that you play the Chronomancers with the Warriors is it's at the back of the board.
yeah,
So I don't know how it's going to be near the DDAs unless they're also just going to sit at the back of the board. But
yeah,
then if
but
they're at the back of the board, how are they going to be in combat to need to be
yeah.
felled back?
What is tagging them? That is the question.
That is the issue.
Yeah,
Psychomancer with the -1 damage, which basically just rules out that he can't play against indirect.
but then you've also got to think if the Chronomancer's got the full back, he's going to be at the back. The Psychomancer's going to be in the middle, trying to deny primary. So how the DDA is going to fit in between those two to get the
Yeah,
-1 damage and full back, I don't know.
like he had 10 points spare. Obviously, I'm assuming is that's just what it is. He just
Yeah,
had 10 points. He's just going
yeah,
to bang it on something.
that's okay then, I guess.
But yeah, it's just not going to get used. Then he's got 2 Royal Wardens. Obviously, the best character to go in Warriors, hands down. Like Overlords are not better. Please, people, do not take Overlords. These Royal Wardens won me every single game I played this weekend,
They're so good.
hands down.
Being able to
Not
fall
getting
back,
tagged.
yeah.
Fucking hell. Not getting tagged. Wow. What? How OP is that?
What annoys me the most, though, is that back when they were 40 points and we weren't playing Warriors, nobody played Royal Wardens. And
Or
everyone saw the
Warriors.
data slate and went, why the fuck have Wardens gone up 10 points? No one's even playing them. I think one person might be playing them now and then to hold an enhancement in a certain detachment, Danny, in
Danny did do
Hypercrypt.
that.
And
He
then
was putting his enhancements on the shittest
and, and
character.
and now all of a sudden they go up 10 points and now we're like, oh yeah, let's play Royal Wardens. And even though they've gone up 25%.
Yeah,
It
it's
just
it's funny
boggles
how
me.
the books like adapt slowly and people start playing stuff where it's been there the whole time.
Hmm.
And Warriors have never not been good. Like they haven't changed at all since they got nerfed when the book came out, and like now they're meant to be like the most broken shit ever, but they've not changed.
I think what it is that the other stuff that was above them got worse. And
Yeah,
now we look at it and go, well, we can't play that game. The only way we can realistically do it is by shoving warriors into a list and hoping they don't die. And that's not a nice way to play the game, and it's not a very well thought out design for our army. But unfortunately, sometimes we have to do that. Anyway, so
yeah,
to continue, he has got the reanimator spider package.
yeah. He's got
He's only got
Warriors. He's only got
one.
one thrall unit. Yeah,
Yeah, that Chronomancer unit is, if he plays against Thousand Suns, it's just dead. Like, don't even look at it, it's dead. Completely dead. And then 3 Doomsday Arcs, which I can agree with, but um,
yeah. They're a bit
yeah,
lost because you've only got one source of rerolls that also need to stick by the Warriors.
at the back, yeah.
Yeah, so you've just like kind of fucked yourself because everything needs to be next to each other now. You basically just got three DDAs that are completely forced into 6 inches of your entire army. Like you can't, or they're just not as good, right?
I mean, you can throw the barge forward with -1 to wound, which could be technically -2 to wound. It's
-1 damage.
it's still kind of going to die because it's only got 9 wounds and toughness 8. I'm just like,
Yeah, and it's so important to have
mm.
like the res orb saved me so many times in my games, and it also just let me do stupid jank because I think so. When you res right, you can't res um, models that like off models that weren't there at the start of the phase. So obviously, like you can't chain even if it's multiple at reanimations, and for people that are playing against Necron warriors as well, make sure you keep an eye which warriors your opponent pulls and then puts down again because you can't like start putting models down, pull like the other models. So
And then
say
carry
for
on.
example I've got like 3 models and then I've got 3 more below it. I pull these ones, these die, I res these ones, then they shoot me again and I pull these back 3. You can't res next to these top 3 ones because they didn't start the phase there.
Yeah. But the
So
barge lets you do that between phases. End of the phase,
exactly.
I'll res, and then you've got like a new point with which.
So I got
So
to do that. Yeah, go
yeah.
on, carry on.
Well, sometimes my opponents go, "Is there any way you can get to this objective with your resurrections?" I'm like, "Yes." How do you do that? Well, I res once. End of the phase, I res again with my command barge. That's another 3 inches. That's 6 inches I've gone, and roughly. And then I can do it again on my command phase and get onto the point. So I can go like 9 to 10 inches because of
Hmm.
the size of the bases, the 2 inches between. And they're like, "Really?" I'm like, "Yes,
Exactly, yeah. So
yes, I
in
can do that."
my 5th game, when I played against Canoptic Court, his turn 2, he fell back with all of his Wraith squads because I tagged them with all my warriors. And then I was like, right. And he put the same OC as me in the middle. And he was like, you're the same OC there. You've not lost any warriors. You can't put any more there. I was like, no, I can't. But then I had the other warrior squad that had lost 1 thrall. He charged my warriors with with his scarabs. He charged them with scarabs. He's like, I'm just going to charge them with scarabs just to tie them up. Or I don't even know why he did it. To be honest, I feel like it was just completely pointless because like I could fall back, shoot, and charge or anything. I just
Yeah,
don't know why he did it.
that's just
Like,
helping you at the end of
exactly,
the day.
because then I said to him, I was like, well, I let him do it because I can't just like tell him not to do that.
Mm.
And then I was like, yeah, you've made a mistake here because I could just pile in and be in engagement range again of the wraiths. So then the wraiths had to fight me,
And then they kill
and
some.
then because he only fell back a little bit to try and keep on the point, and so then they fought me. Some died. I like pile consolidated in like a giant arc towards the middle, resed, like in a line, and then in my turn I could res again, like one warrior on the point,
Yeah.
just to flip it. And I was like, right. And you just fucked it like so many times. But it's just knowing how to play against
Yeah.
it.
So when you play against like the absolute top players, they're not going to make that mistake. So
Mhm.
those are the kind of things that give you additional chances to beat people who don't know how
Yeah.
those kind of things work. And it's one of the strengths of the army. But when you do like play against that top level player, it makes it a bit harder to get away with those kind of tricks.
Yeah.
One thing I did with my barge that made me chuckle was my opponent spent so long trying to kill Illuminator Serras. Right, he killed him the first time. He got back up. He then put him down to some more wounds. Came to my turn. I rolled a 3 on the reanimation, so it went up to 4. And then I used my command barge to gain 5 more wounds and put him back onto 9. And he was just like, "Oh, that's not
Yeah.
fun."
That is rough.
It's like, "Yeah, oh yeah, this thing heals infantry. Wait, he's infantry. Well, okay, I'll roll a 5. Oh, there we go. He's back on full." And it's just, it was so hard. It makes me want to play more barges. Like, I've actually just built another barge. Needs painting
Mm.
up. And I've got one more on sprue. I don't know if it's built into an annihilation
I've
barge or
got
a
two.
command barge, but
I've got
they
two waiting in the wings.
they are just, every time I play them now, they're going up and up in my estimation. Maybe it's because of Star Shatter when I get the rerolls. But even when I was playing your list, I was like, this barge is the one thing that I need to keep alive because it's just doing everything that I want.
Yeah.
Um,
It's so strong.
I wish it had one more gun.
Yeah. The Gauss cannon is just not it.
I mean, it's 120 points. So when you look at its output compared to other characters, a lot of other characters have just got 3 shots and a little bit in melee, but they're like 80 points. And yeah, I kind of 120 points. I know we're paying for the chassis, but it's a
I'd
little
rather just
steep.
have a tiny character, a tiny overlord that did that.
Hmm. Yeah, because if the overlords, you could run the overlord solo, and their res orb could affect things around them rather than just the unit they're leading, then they would
Mm.
also go up in stock as well. Like if you could point your overlord that's in a Lichguard squad at your immortals, for example, or your wraiths, then you that would be also pretty cool. But
Do you know what I've just noticed about this list, Andy?
he hasn't got plasma sights on his
No.
Ophidians.
Uh, that's true. That I didn't notice that, but what I did notice is that he has to put the Psychomancer in the Ghost Arc turn 1, so he doesn't get to -1 damage anything turn 1.
Oh God,
Yeah, because he's not got Zeraz in there as well.
he
So he's
hasn't.
taking
Yeah,
40 warriors, and he's not taking the character that buffs the warriors. So you've basically got one warrior squad that has -1 to hit and fuck all else.
and that's it. Yeah,
And it's just made out of like it felt pretty fucking weak when I had AOC stacked on and thralls
yeah,
and a feel no pain from the spider stacked on top.
yeah. It
But then
did.
this is just like, oh, it's -1 to hit.
So
Fucking
that's like that's got to be the warrior squad that hangs at the back and kind of deals with the stuff they come out to deal with, like jump pack intercessors and stuff, rather than their mainline units. But sometimes they just ignore the big unit and go, "Well, I'm just going to shoot that dweeby one that's over there." Especially if you're playing against like Votan, where you've got stealth. Oh, well, I suppose actually the Votan bikes don't proc on
they
the
ignore it.
Chronomancer. They don't ignore it because they don't have
Oh,
stealth.
sorry, they don't ignore that.
They
Sorry, I'm
they
sorry.
ignore the stealth, but they don't ignore the Chronomancer's
No,
-1,
no,
do they? Which is actually
no,
quite
no.
quite cool.
It was really handy in again against the Canoptic Core because I was using that unit aggressively into the
Yeah,
Canoptic Core because he's hitting me on 5s with rerolling 1s because I held the points.
yeah,
And he tried to use the res strat like several times when I charged him, and I was like, "You don't hold the middle, mate."
yeah. You don't
Like,
have your Matrix.
yeah, I was like, "You don't hold it, so you can't." And he was like, "Oh," so I was literally killing wraiths faster with my warriors than he was killing my warriors,
He could have done it if he was in his own deployment zone, but then
but
you're
he
winning at
couldn't.
that point
I just
because
yeah, you can
yeah,
stay there if you want.
yeah. I'm sure I'm here. Just form a line like the White Walkers in Game of Thrones at the
That's
end.
exactly it. Yeah. So, like Danny's list to me, just again what we were discussing earlier about that score pack Wraith list. Like this is the same thing. He's just gone like 40 warriors, but with no like a little bit of the sauce, but then just not. That's not gonna. They're not gonna do a good job.
Yeah,
And this also because of no Imatech, no thralls, he's gonna like never be able to play a combat matchup
He won't be able to reanimate. He doesn't have the reanimation strat. He can only
Well,
do it
yeah,
on his turn, and
but I mean the combat matchup for like so Blood Angels, for example. I put that as a draw because it's like a bunch of AP1, like chain swords, a lot of it, and so the thralls are still on 3-up saves with
yeah,
Imatech there, and then you can res when you shot, res when you fought,
I mean
all
Sarah's.
that. But not, now, if he just Zeraz, and then if he just goes in, like he's going to get one res once per game from the barge, but at the end of the phase, so they have to still be alive, and then it's just going to be an arc, and
He's got
that's it.
one arc for two squads.
Like he can get blown off the table like too quickly. He's going to have to be looked after so much, and I feel like a lot of people in ITT are not going to be able to know how to play into it, so he's just going to bloody get away with it.
Yeah,
But it's
so
just how it is.
because it's only defensive buffs in against shooting armies, right? Where you can react to move
Yeah.
out of line of sight. However, the damage will already been done, and they don't recover as well because you don't have the strat to reanimate. 2d3 plus one,
Mm-hmm.
which is a big part of it because you can do that 3 times a battle round, and
Mm-hmm.
that is kind of required when you're playing 40 warriors. Giving them +1 to wound, great. You can't give them. They can't. I mean, they already go through walls. You can't give them the advance. You can't -1 damage them. You can't -1 to wound them. So literally, the only strat that they get from it is reactive move, and it's D6, which is highly unreliable as well.
You're
Uh,
just not going to be able to like. Sometimes you just roll double one into double one as well on your res.
I've done that so many
So
times. It's,
yeah, so
it's
you can't like you just lose the chain. Like you're forced to use your res up then,
yeah,
and when you're forced to use that early, it like really changes the game.
yeah,
Yeah, I think it's just going to really struggle. I think
and
like he's got the stalker for ignore cover, so he's going to, but he's not even like AP2 ignores cover with the warriors, which actually would do a
yeah,
good amount. I just feel
yeah,
like you just get rid of one of the DDAs and go back to two like he had before, and
and
then at least just put all of this support in, like the thralls,
Sarah's.
Zeraz, drop something else, or like even if you don't have Zeraz, but even though I would every time, you just need it. I think he's just got like 200 and what 200 and 325 points of warriors and characters that is just not doing anything. Like it's just going to be so weak. You might as well just take 2 squads of 10.
At
Like that's
least, yeah,
literally it.
at least in Awakened, when they come right close to you and you've got all your warriors surrounding them, you can pop the strats for full rerolls to hit to try and get a shitload of lethals. And
Yeah,
he doesn't even have that in this attachment. He's got reroll ones to hit and wound. When they hit on fours, potentially fives with -1, you know,
yeah.
it's
It's just I just feel like you're handicapping yourself so much by doing this. Like I honestly hope he does well,
yeah. We
and
always we always hope he
like
does well.
yeah, like I really do. Like he's clearly practiced it. Sure, like I'm just not seeing it. I just feel like it's just a completely weaker version of Awaken.
I don't know. I don't know if he's practiced this. I feel like this is a list that he's put together because he thinks it's really good in theory, but once he actually plays it, he goes,
Yeah, he's watched me at Allies, but didn't want to directly copy, so he's just like, I'm gonna just keep it in Starshire.
yeah. I mean, Star Shatter is still strong. Like the Doomsday arcs are going to pop off better in Star Shatter than they are in Awakened.
Yeah,
But then, if you're going to do that, then play the Silent King, play Man List, with the Scorpet Lords, and take
yeah,
out the warriors that are just
and he's
bloating
got new
your army.
Imatech, so he's just gonna be really
CP hungry.
hungry for CP. So it's like a choice between resing your warriors in the fight phase,
Mm-hmm.
moving through buildings, auto advancing,
Reactive
reactive
move,
moving. Like you're gonna
flipping
be,
cards,
yeah,
and
you're gonna be screwed.
there's always a DDA that rolls a 1 as well
Yeah, you need it.
when you need it to roll a 4 or a 5 or something.
I think it's just yeah, he's just gonna have a bit of trouble.
Well,
But yeah, that brings us on, I guess, to what we were going to talk about.
the main topic, even though we're an hour in, yeah,
I mean, I think it's been pretty good conversation. We've had a lot of constructive
absolutely,
stuff. I think it's been really good, which is why I like going through the lists because you
yeah.
know you can kind of help people improve. It's almost like teaching list building, and I really wish I had that kind of shit when I started playing because I remember I'd be on like the TTS Discord, all American players, no idea what I'm doing. I'd be like chatting in a random Discord call with this American guy, like telling me about how keywords interact with each other, for like, and I just no idea what's going on.
Yeah. Well, when I
Um,
first started playing Necrons, I didn't really have anyone to talk to about Necron lists. I was very much because nobody in my local plays Necrons.
Same.
There's a few now. There's a few now who play, but they're very much just kind of starting off. They're not really,
Mhm.
they're not going to a tournament and looking to win it. They're going to a tournament and saying, "Hey, can I win one or two games?" I know we all start there, so there's nothing wrong with that. It's just
Yeah,
I had no one really to talk to about this. It's like, oh, is this the right list? Do I want to take this unit or this unit? Which is, and it's hard when you kind of you don't have that support
it's
structure around you. So
really
that's why
difficult.
we're here because now you don't have to talk to other people. You just have to listen
Mm.
to our
And
nonsense.
exactly. And I was going to say something and I've trailed off it, so I'll come back to it. So the detachments, obviously, we've got Annihilation Legion, Star Shatter, Hypercrypt, Awakened, Phalanx, and Canoptic Core.
Yeah,
So we might as well start from the bottom and go up. Like, I think we are actually going to be pretty much aligned. I think the top two is essentially,
I think we're discussing top three
yeah, top
personally.
top three, top. I mean, it's kind of, yeah. Obviously, the bottom one is Annihilation Legion.
Annihilation Legion. I don't think
Like,
anyone saw that one coming.
yeah,
Right? Oh wait,
we've played them in RTTs. The only person I know that's had any even semblance of success with it is Josie.
excuse me. I won my RTT. Did you win
No, she
yours?
took it to team tournaments and won, and like she really impressed me.
Mm-hmm.
She like she was like getting big scores at the team tournaments with it. So it's but it's just it's just not good enough.
Thing is, if you play good data sheets, then sometimes you don't need a detachment rule. You can
Which
just win with good data sheets, and then that's what you do when you build that Annihilation Legion list. You're still putting Scorpex, Flayed Ones, heavy destroyers, potentially like Silent King or Catan's in there anyway. So the
yeah,
and also that was quite a while ago. So the bets has changed, our units have changed, some of the rules have changed, and the points have all changed. So um,
yeah, it's just not. It needs an actual blood surge.
yeah,
Like
we
I don't understand
we
why
talk
they
about
refuse to change that.
we talk about this every time. Like
Yeah,
we're never going to get it. I mean, the other question you might say is, well, how much better would she have done if she'd taken, a better detachment? She might have done even better.
yeah.
You don't know. Like
I
it
think
could
it's
be
just
one
a
of them.
mystery. It's the mystery of
It
like not
is.
knowing what you're against, so people play worse. Like it's
Yeah,
just how it is.
yeah. I mean, I remember my first game against him was a teams tournament, and I looked at this guy's list. I'm like, well, I know what all they do, but why on earth is he taking it in this crappy detachment? And I won, but it wasn't as clear cut and as close as distant as I wanted. It was like
That Tau, the crew hunted pack.
no, when he took Annihilation Legion. I played against
Oh,
him. I played a team tournament. I played Necrons 3 times. Came out to court
mm,
twice, where one was Josh Roberts, where I lost 12-8. Second was Lewis from Lords of War, who was playing up to court as well, and I 20-0'd that. And then I played Annihilation Legion, and I think it was like a 14-6. But I was looking at it going, I should absolutely murder this. But then there were some interesting tricks, like he would get stuff below half strength, and then all of a sudden, Scorpex were like, +1 to hit and wound. And you're like, oh, shit.
mm.
Um, so
It's
and
just
there
a
was
lot.
just a lot of bodies, a lot of 3 wound bodies, but it was never going to win. It was just frustrating to chew through, I guess.
It's just so many hoops to jump through to achieve your detachment rule,
Yeah,
and it just really misses the mark for me.
yeah,
Like we don't have any damage buffs outside of stuff already being half dead, and in a meta right now as well, where everything's fucking damage 3,
hmm.
it's so hard to exist in that space.
Yeah, yeah.
So obviously that's 6,
I think we might
5.
disagree here.
So I think it's Hypercrypt.
Wow, we are way off. I think it's Canoptic Court.
Do you think Galactic Court?
I do.
Really?
I do. I just
Why
feel
do you think
like
it's Galactic Court?
because it doesn't have. So if you look at all the potential categories that would be, it doesn't have great movement. It doesn't have great movement buffs. Okay, you got the reactive move on race, but people can play around that because everyone's got reactive moves now. It doesn't have great durability. So Awakened Dynasty's got better durability. It doesn't have great damage output because the units you're taking a pretty low damage output themselves, Wraith specifically. So what? It doesn't have great scoring, because it doesn't have uppy downy like Hypercrypt. So you're playing the same game, but you don't have the mobility to get the scoring. So it's just kind of like everything.
So my
You shoehorned into taking wraiths, which aren't great.
they are
Well, I
pretty
mean, they
good.
are, but it's 18 wraiths. Like,
They are pretty good.
I would rather
So
play 18 wraiths in a different detachment.
I'll give my argument of why Canoptic Core is better than that.
Okay.
So Wraiths are obviously just an amazing data sheet anyway in the book. It is. Like from an outside perspective, Wraiths are really annoying.
Yeah.
And they're very, very good just like that's why people play them everywhere, right? I mean a Canoptic Core that's why Canoptic Core is weaker than Star Shatter because and Awaken Wraiths because you're basically just getting rerolls and, as you said, a reactive. The Level Up 18 isn't very good, but like just being able to like hold space, be really awkward to kill, in itself is like good. But I wouldn't put it like worse than Hypercrypt because Hypercrypt is basically just like you pick you're like shoehorned into playing like 100 points of your army just to pick up an extra model. Hypercrypt kind of just plays all data sheets that can move around fast, but then it still really struggles to hold the primary. And if you're playing Wraiths, Warriors, Lichguard in Hypercrypt, then it's just worse than playing Wraiths in Canoptic Core because at least you have like supporting stuff. Because again, like the list we just looked at, you don't really want to be playing a monolith right now with Warriors, Wraiths, whatever. But Wraiths, like they're still good. People still take it because it's still a good stat check. It's just and the reactive move, like you say, reactive move's hard to play around, but Space Wolves have a reactive move, and it is one of the most obnoxious things to try and work around because especially on like when you're playing on WTC because you can just make the whole zone like okay I'm on the primary if you want to come on this primary then I'm going to be able to like move away.
But the difference between Space Wolves and Wraiths are Space Wolves hit like a brick. Wraiths don't.
It's not the fact that the reactive move and it they obviously hurt more but it's just having it makes you play different. Like I was just watching a game earlier of Space Wolves versus Chaos Knights and it's like every single knight that tries to move like the reactive move can just fuck them because it can just move, block, whatever. When you're playing with like stuff like that, it is annoying to play around. Like it is easy to play around, but having to play 9 inches away when you kind of want to control the space anyway. So that's why I think that just Hypercrypt's generically worse because you're basically just playing with like moving around data sheets, and the 6 inch deep strike was a massive nerf. And as we said earlier, like you're kind of just having to be forced to play these other units like deep you're forced to play loads of deep striking units. Yeah, it's really good at cards, but it's like you kind of just can win without having to have something that can up you downy all the time. So you're forced to play with like units that deep strike. You're forced to take stuff that can pick up more, and then pretty much like every Hypercrypt list is playing like the Silent King and two DDAs, which are just better in other stuff.
Well, okay, my rebuttal.
Your final point.
Well, firstly, Hypercrypt, it has that movement, which you don't have in Canoptek Core, so you're better scoring. You've got better damage because in Canoptek Core, you shoehorn into taking Canoptek and Cryptek units to get the best out of the detachment. You don't see DDAs being played, and when they are played in Canoptek Core, they're not gaining anything from it. So the best data sheets that we've got, DDAs, Silent King, Warriors, for example, Scorpex, they don't gain anything from the detachment. So you're always going to play them in another detachment. I would rather play Scorpex in Hypercrypt, where I can rapid ingress them, or I can 6 inch deep strike behind a wall just for the following turn. You've got all of those options that you don't have in Canoptek Core.
Yeah.
You also get to play the Vault in Hypercrypt, which you don't get to do in Canoptek Core. And the
You know,
Vault is
I've
just
changed
the
my
best
mind.
unit in the world,
It's Hypercrypt
right?
at
Yeah.
first.
So the other thing is like results wise, we're not looking at it necessarily right now. We're looking at it overall in terms of power. The meta isn't particularly amazing right now for Hypercrypt, but that's because of the Hypercrypt builds that we're used to playing with. It doesn't mean that if we put a lot of time and effort into building a list in Hypercrypt that it wouldn't be better now. You just get more from the attachment. Plus, you can play the monolith with wraiths in Hypercrypt, and they still benefit from, they can renovate well on reserves, they can come through the monolith for survivability. I just find that if you look at a whole range of matchups, Canoptek Court would be, you wouldn't have easy games with Canoptek Court. You'd always have hard battles. And yes, you've got the 18 race, but you can have 18 race and other detachments and get more out of them from those detachments.
But that's what I mean. Is it's like a choice between,
which is why Court's
like,
the worst.
we're fighting for like the fifth spot, where it's between, like, we know that these things are better in the other detachments. It's just that realistically, because Wraiths are one of our strongest data sheets, and if it's a detachment that uses like buffs Wraiths specifically, then it's not going to be worse than something that doesn't like use our good data sheets in the best way.
But you don't need Wraiths to win.
I'm not saying that. I'm
our
just saying that, like,
our best data sheets, we all have other best data sheets, which Hypercrypt enables a lot more than Canoptek Court does.
it's just, I feel like you have to sink so many points. You're just fighting on two fronts, and it feels difficult. It feels harder to play Hypercrypt now with the 6-inch deep strike.
It's harder because we have to play it slightly differently from how we did before. 3 inches, here's a vault in your face. Here's a monolith. Now got everything round the corner. But the Canoptek Court list kind of almost writes itself. 3 squads of Wraiths. Then you've got a choice of, do I take 3 or 2 Doomstalkers? Do I take Immortals with Plasmancers, MSU? There isn't a lot of design space within that Canoptek Court list, or at least the Hypercrypt. You can take your pet units, like your Seraptek, your Vault, your Monolith. The Silent King is our best. Our raw power. Hypercrypt is our, Silent King is our best model, best data sheet, and he is really good in Hypercrypt because he can dominate one area of the battlefield, and then he can pick him up and put him somewhere else and dominate that side of the battlefield, which you can't do in Canoptek Court. And he doesn't need to be played.
Also really prone to tagging, like, and screening. So you just
so's Canoptek Court. You tag 3 squads of Wraiths. If you're playing against Guard and they tag 3 squads of Wraiths with 3 Rogal Dawns, them Wraiths are doing nothing for the rest of the game. The Rogal Dawns are sat there quite happy shooting everything else.
Well, they'll probably just hold the primary if they're doing that. That's the thing. But like, Hypercrypt can't hold the primary. Like, when we've watched people play it, like when Josh was playing it, like, he was just saying how, and I've had a couple of games since. It's so hard just to get yourself out there, and there's so many fast armies now, especially. I know it's overall. I just feel that overall you're going to want to rather take 18 Wraith Canoptek Court than try and like make some weird Hypercrypt list where you're going to just try and like struggle more for the same or worse result.
But in Hypercrypt, you can guarantee scoring your secondaries, and then when it comes to not holding primary, the early game primary that you're not holding can be covered by challenger cards, and then normally late on with Hypercrypt, you can hold primary on turns 4 and 5 reasonably well. So then turns 2 and 3, you're getting 6 points extra from your challenger cards. Whereas, because Hypercrypt, if you look at all of the results that people have had since the book came out, Hypercrypt is probably the one that's had the most success. Now, okay, we've got nerfs since then. We've lost the 3-inch deep strike, which was a big nerf, especially on the Catans, but it's still got the same raw power. And yes, the points are a little more constrained because you've got to spend 25 points on the enhancement every time now, rather than have it being optional, because I never used to take it. And now you have to take it, but I know we're not playing it a great deal, but people aren't playing Canoptek Court a great deal, and those that are, it's kind of a meme in a way. Mark's had some good success with it, but Mark probably would have success with any of the detachments that he played. So that's why I think.
Yeah, he's done well with Hypercrypt as well with his like mass destroyer lists.
Yeah.
So I just think, like, on terms of it's just because of how strong Wraiths are, and if you're looking at it, you're just like, well, yeah, Wraiths are really good. This makes Wraiths better. Like, we're just talking like 1-to-1. Like, I'm sure people would have more trouble against 18 Wraiths than they would Hypercrypt. Like, people wouldn't go to a Hypercrypt table and be like, this is going to be really difficult. But then immediately when you're playing against 18 Wraiths, you're like, wow, like, this is going to be a slog.
That's not the experience I've found. I've found when I talk to my opponents, what do they not want to face? Hypercrypt is the number one. Like, okay, facing 18 rates is annoying. They're
Even
so hard
now,
to kill, even now, because it's the decision trees. Like, when you're playing Cryptic Core, you see the race, you know where they can be. They've got 10-inch threat range, and then, 20-inch movement, and then, 8-inch charge, right? And you got 18-inch realistic threat range. Anything above that is, you're taking too many chances. Whereas Hypercrypt, like, you could look at that board, a bit like playing Burrow now, which Tyranids are doing really well with, is you have no idea where these units are going to be the following turn. And that makes it really hard to plan out your game plan. And a lot of players will struggle into that. And they don't like playing against it
that
because,
Burrow's got so many cheap units and a really good delivery system of damage.
yeah,
That's why that's hard.
yeah,
But it is just made of paper, and they get the rerolls for no reason. Like if Hypercrypt just got reroll ones
it'd be
to
nice.
hit for the
Yeah,
whole army, like how good would that
yeah.
be? But
But
so what would your fourth choice be if
so my
Canoptic Corps?
four, my fifth would be Cortical. My fourth would be Phalanx.
Yeah,
I think
I can
Phalanx
agree
is
with
better
that.
than Court, but then I think Hypercrypt is better than Phalanx
I
because it
think like
gives
if we have our two ones side by side, then we can kind of like compare afterwards.
yeah.
Anyway, so I
Phalanx
agree with you there. I think Phalanx is fourth.
because there are some really nice things in that detachment. -1 damage on demand is such a drug. Like you
It's
did it
good.
yourself. That's why you played it. Especially with
Hmm.
the vault, like having a vault -1 damage and a feel no pain
Yeah,
from the spider. Thousands players is just like, oh, I
it's
even
so,
I even took it just to have a friendly game with my friend, and it was funny. But
it's
then
good.
you have other things as well, like +1 to win on the Silent King as a detachment rule is just actually pretty good. It helps. It doesn't really help anything else. Just +1 to win
No.
on the Silent King feels good. Crit fives, doesn't come up as often as you think,
Yeah.
unless you're taking Immortals with Chronomancer. But then at least you can do that, as we saw. I wish we still had Oberyn and Nemesis Andrex, so you could get like lethal or sustained on the Lich Guard. You roll for it,
Hmm.
now right. I can now spend a crit fives and I can get sustained one on them. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think
And the
Phalanx
fights first and a
fights first.
Vect.
Oh yeah, that too.
Yeah.
I mean the
Like
fight.
that would have been amazing.
I mean that's like 160, 170 points for the whole package because
Yeah.
Oberyn gave the fights first.
But again, that's what you want. You want like a
Yeah,
brick
mm,
that's just super good. Like
yeah.
what did Thingy do?
Thingy.
The other one.
Anric here.
Yeah, what did
He,
he
he
do?
he only went with Immortals,
Immortals.
and
That
he
was it.
he gave them +1 to wound, and then he had this thing where in your opponent's, I think it was like in your opponent's shooting phase, you pick a vehicle within 12, and
Yes, and
then
you could shoot with one of its
it can
guns.
shoot with ice, or you can't shoot or something. It changed a little bit
Yes.
between
Yeah,
ninth
yeah.
and 10th as
But
well. I
I
think,
agree with you. Phalanx is fourth. Yeah.
yeah, and then for me, Hypercrypt is third, and it's a close one because I think it has good parts to it that the other detachments lack, Awakened and Star Shattered. But
Hmm.
if this was a month ago, then or maybe a year ago,
I
actually,
just
I
feel
guess.
like it's so hard to make a hypercrit build that like works, whereas like Canoptic Core just works on principle because of the data sheets that you're running.
But does it because you've played it and you've always come back afterwards and said, I felt really weak. I didn't feel like I could do what I wanted.
Yeah,
At
it's
which
not for
point,
singles.
if you're playing a low damage army, that's you might as well just play your warrior list from Awakened Dynasty, right? It's just going to
Hmm.
be a better version of what you're taking with Canoptic Court, but you've got better data sheets.
Hmm. Yeah. So just to touch on Phalanx a little as well. Like I think it would be even better if Lich Guard were just slightly better than they were. I mean, there's a guy that's in one of the discords that we talk about that obviously loves Lich Guard, but they're just a weaker version of Wraiths and Warriors, like in every way.
Yeah.
The amount of 2 damage in the game is unbearable. Like, it is just so high volume, which is the main reason I wanted -1 damage on the vehicles.
Hmm.
And they're expensive when then they can just kind of get wiped out, and they're not faster. There's no support resing in that detachment,
So
so
they're
once you
85,
start dying, it's gone.
they're 85 points, which for a 3 up, 4 up, toughness 5, wound 2 guy, on the face value, isn't too bad. If it had some ability to advance and charge or just move more, then you'd use them as frontline skirmishers to combat people's scouts or JPIs or something because they'll kill most of a squad of 5 Marines. If they had the -1 to wound baked in without having to take a character, then I think they'd be playable in just 5-man MSUs, just to like run out onto a point
They
turn
only
one.
kill like 2
I mean, yeah, they've
JPI.
got 15 attacks, right? Hitting on
Yeah, it's
threes,
threes and threes, no rerolls, like, and they're
10.
saving on fives. They might kill 2. And that, but the problem is for me is that the OC1, yes, you can buff it to OC2, but then you're spending a CP on that.
Yeah,
And Wraiths are OC2, Warriors are OC2. Like they don't actually kill much in combat. Like the Scythe guys, 2 attacks each. What's the point in
yeah,
that? Like,
that's not enough.
like
But
I don't care what you say. Like having 20 attacks for a squad hitting on threes, yes, you can put the reroll thing in, but then again, you're sinking more points in. But once that squad's in, they are dead. It
yeah,
is
yeah.
they are just toughness 5 Marines. They will die, and
So
it's just I'm just not in agreement. That's why when I was playing the vehicles, a vault or whatever, like I wouldn't try it any other way because it just doesn't work right now for me.
I did have some minor success playing Night Scythe and then running the War Scythe guys, where I would come down, rapid ingress the Night Scythe, turn 2 with Deep Strike, and then I'd be within 9. I'd be able to charge something that I knew I would kill, move back towards a point, for example, and then within 6 of the transport to get back in at the end of the fight phase. That's the only way that they can actually be useful. Unfortunately, it is
Yeah,
each model feels like it's one less attack than it should do. The sword guy should have 4 attacks, and the side guy should have 3 attacks, and then that would be actually quite interesting.
yeah, I agree. I think that
But
like just having the extra one. That's why I thought like Anrake would be cool because if he stayed in, because he used to give an extra attack in ninth edition,
yeah.
so wouldn't it be a bad thing to go with them? But
But he
yeah,
he
and
could never go with them because he can only ever go with the immortals.
no, I meant if he could go with
Ah,
them.
yeah.
But yeah, like Hypercrypt Canoptic Core again, like I can understand your points. I really can. I'm not against it. It is like I think it's very the first like between though it's very fluid like there on like personal preference. I know you really prefer Hypercrypt. I'm not. I don't really like Canoptic Core that much. I don't like playing Wraiths very much. It's not my style. Like Warriors it is my style. I love the way it plays because like it seems kind of brainless when you're playing Warriors, but it actually isn't, and it just feels like it is.
I
But it
mean,
rewards you for knowing what to do. But obviously, we can talk about that
Warriors still have a
towards
place in
the end.
Canoptech Core. You know, you play a Plasman, so you get in your Matrix. All of a sudden, you've got 40 attacks,
Yeah, somebody did that.
lethal 5s. I mean, I was telling you about a list of mine that I tried to make, which was like a turn 1 alpha strike where you had 3 Night Sides with Serras and 40 warriors in the Night Sides, and then you had an infiltrating
It's
unit
so
of
hard to
blade ones.
deploy that.
And then it would just be like, okay, here's 1,000 points on the board, half it's got infiltrate, some of it is just there to create a power matrix turn 1, and then you just dump your army 9 inches away and then hope to kill stuff. But yeah, I couldn't make it work because we had too many points in reserves.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think Phalanx is better than Canoptic Core. Having played both, because I always play a lot of detachments when I'm practicing. I always just to keep it fresh, and you know you've got all these models that just sit in a box. You might as well get them out. And I think Phalanx is better than Core. Like if you had to pick between the two, I'd have to pick Phalanx.
Yeah, I mean, if I played Phalanx into Canoptic Core, I'd feel pretty good about winning with Phalanx because the Silent King can out OC the Wraiths.
Mm-hmm.
The Wraiths do no damage to him, and the Tendermancer has to hide away. And the Silent King will chop through Wraiths pretty damn quick, especially with +1 to wounds, like hitting on
Yeah.
twos, wounding on twos.
Mm-hmm. With the
So
rerolls as well.
I could probably like see putting Phalanx in third and Canoptic Core in fourth.
But I still think that Hypercrypt is better than Phalanx. That's the problem.
Yeah,
If
and then
I had to
then
take a
mine
vault,
starts dropping.
if I had to take a vault, I have to take Hypercrypt as my number 1,
Yeah,
unless the terrain allows me to play the Star Shatter.
yeah,
Then I
yeah.
think
That's the main reason I like it. I mean, I'm coming from somebody that literally like played against you with your Hypercrypt list. And then I was like, this looks amazing. I was playing Canoptic Core. I played against your list. I was like, this looks so fun because I played Grey Knights.
hmm.
So I was like, I really want to play this
Yeah,
So I played it myself, and I've never enjoyed a list that much until recently. But then everything just went up, and it just became unplayable.
yeah.
And
I
I
remember
still,
this.
if we had the 3-inch deep strike, I'd be like, it'd be like number two for me. Like it'd be if I had 3-inch deep strike, it'd be number two, like, easily.
I still remember those games. That first game that we played where I was on hyper and you were on court, you made an
Hmm.
ungodly amount of failure pains on the race. You kept
Always.
apologising for it. Then you copied my list, went to the same RTT. You made it worse. Your vault was like a foot too high. I was like, Matt, that's cheap. That's naughty. You need to fix it. And then we played and you beat me because I deployed the Silent King in the worst spot in the world. And that just left him out of the game for like 3 turns. Yes, and I
That
still
was
remember
good.
those games, but I
No, I
converted you.
do. Yeah.
I converted you.
You did,
We could
and then
just
we
do
got
it.
chatting.
Yeah.
And it was like, and I played Hypercrypt for many tournaments. I played it when I applied to England. I played it at Battle of Britain. We won Battle of Britain with that list,
Mm.
and it was just so good because, again, it's like just knowing like the tricks you've got. Like
Yeah.
there's all the tricks. Then I played like the French style list, and I won my first ever GT with it. Like I love Hypercrypt. It's just like right now, it just feels like so much effort just to make something that even is like in the shadow of what it used to be.
But don't forget, you. When was the last time you actually played Hypercrypt? When did you put it on the table last and made a real effort to build a really
Ages
good list
ago,
with it? Exactly.
a
So
while
in
ago.
our heads, we've got this idea that it's really bad. We can't build it to beat Knights. Whereas when I played Hypercrypt, Knights was a tough matchup, but I never lost to them with it.
I did.
It was a harder matchup, but it was still a matchup that I still won. Through luck or whatever you want to call it, like it was still like I had to play it perfectly. Like there was one game where I think I was playing against Reese for the first time, and I was like, "Oh, this is really bad." And I literally, if you looked at turn three, my entire army was crammed into the smallest corner on my battlefield on Search and Destroy because I was just trying to walk away from his knights rather than towards it, and I still managed to win because I was just shooting from that position until he'd got nothing left, and I just picked everything up and put it in the middle of the table and we could still do that. It's just we think that Awakened and Star Shatter are better, basically,
I do
and
think
that's where we're
Awakened is
putting
the
our time and
tits.
effort. So I think the
Number
real
two,
question
I
is
think we've got
one or
different
two.
ones. I think we've got different ones.
I don't
I
know.
think I think Starshot is two for me. Like
I agree.
really good.
Yeah, I think there's more options in Awakened Dynasty. If you take teams out of it, because I know you like teams, I play more singles, but you can still make a good teams list in Star Shatter. I mean, Danny's trying to
Absolutely.
make an Awakened list in Star Shatter,
Yeah, not it doesn't
obviously.
have 40 warriors in it.
Like, I mean, I've been to two ITTs with one with Awakened, one with Star Shatter. I've gone 5-0 in both. So there's strength in both, but the Awakened list I think is just a little bit harder to deal with. The Star Shatter one has more damage, but it plays a bit fairer if you know what I mean. You know,
Hmm.
it's very much point. There's just yes, you've got the advanced ability, but you don't have the uppy downy that you do in um with the
Yeah.
Veil in Awakened. Oh, and one more thing I forgot to say about Canoptek Court. Canoptek Court forces us to play Ophidians if we want movement. So bad. Hypercrypt don't need Ophidians, right? If anything else proves it for me, then it's got to be the fact that we don't need Ophidians in Hyper. But anyway,
Ophidians aren't that bad.
you heard it here first.
I didn't play them in my last list because I couldn't fit them in, but I mean I didn't need them
No,
because
you got the
for
Veil.
like for singles you're trying to get that 100, you're trying to score every card, you're trying to get every primary. That's what you're aiming for. It doesn't matter what your opponent gets as long as it's less than 100 and
Yeah.
yours is 100. It doesn't matter. But teams, I like took the Warriors because I was like I am going to just smash this list it primary. You're not going to get any primary. That's basically all it is, and that's why. I mean, Star Shatter. I fucking loved playing Star Shatter when it first came out, but then you just play. But now that they nuked the strats, they made them 2 CP for -1 to be wounded and +1 to wound. You can't play like any other build except vehicle spam, and I just don't like the double. Like Richard Siegler's list is amazing. Richard Siegler is an amazing player and his list is really really good
I don't like
and
it.
I mean, yeah, you might not like it, but it is good, and it is. He plays it well. I watched him play against Nas
Yeah,
at BFS, maybe I can't remember what the tournament was, and it's just like a masterclass on like what to do. And he built his list to play into that kind of on Purge. Like, he built it to play on Purge because
yeah.
it was in the pack twice, I think, and it's just like really good. Knows exactly what to do, and that when it's used properly, it's really hard to beat because it's got like Necrons struggle with consistent damage. We
Mm.
always have. We've got like random number of shots and like not that many, and we didn't have rerolls really outside of the Silent King, obviously, and a couple of strats. Like the Awakened one in Index was really good because if you were being led, didn't matter if you were at half or full, you'd get full rerolls on the
Yeah.
strat. But then they changed it the way that the strats worked that you'd have to complete both parts,
Not
so you
not
have to be at
just
half.
not just that, but you had the enhancement which counted you as being led. So units like the
Exactly.
DDAs and the but no, we didn't have reroll hits. We had reroll wounds in Index.
No, we had
We had no reroll hit.
reroll.
The reroll hits came when the reroll wounds
Did we?
disappeared. Yeah, I promise you.
Oh, really? Okay.
I promise you, because that's made the vault. I had double vault, mate, and when you could
Okay.
reroll wounds, fishing for dev wounds with that card, but hitting on twos with indirects, like
Yes, that was good. That was good.
that was a
Yeah.
lot.
So like, yeah, Starshire's super solid all rounder, but it's like not as easy to play as people think it is. But it is just a super solid all rounder. It's just a good blunter. It's a good blunter all rounder list. Awakened is obviously good at that as well, but Awakened skews to more durability, whereas Starshire skews to more damage. They're like
Yeah,
two sides of the same coin.
yeah. And
They're very similar.
I prefer to have that ability to when I really need to kill something, then I can probably do that in Star Shatter.
Yeah.
And I have to leverage the fact that my units are reasonably durable, but I have to try and make them more durable with how you position
You have
them.
to make your opponent scared of you.
Yeah,
Like if you're playing against two DDAs in the Silent King, like you know that it's hard. It's going to be, or three DDAs even. You know it's going to be super difficult
yeah,
to beat that. You know that one DDA could just one shot my knight.
yeah.
Like that, it is entirely possible that that could happen.
Land
And
Raider.
I've seen it before where I've like been super lucky and I've done like 16 damage in dev wounds and handed them saves,
Yeah,
and
free
it's like,
saves.
yeah, and it's like, okay,
Yeah,
your fucking guy's dead. Like
yeah,
it just sometimes happens, and the long range, and then the speed to get to where you need to be, and the consistency of the damage is what makes. And it also does have good res strats. It has a reactive move, like it's got an amazing strats, amazing enhancements. It's really really good.
yeah,
But the reason that Awakened is number one for me is because it just that durability skew is so valuable, and it's the reason I took it is because I prefer the play style anyway. Because when your damage is like when you're shooting something and your damage doesn't go through, or you roll that one into a one on a DDA, or
hmm
there are massive downsides. But Warriors, it's very linear, consistent. You know what's going to happen, or you don't know what's going to happen, and you can pretty much tell that by looking at your opponent's list.
hmm
Like there's not, you don't. I won't. I'll look at my opponent's list, and then I'll know what I'll score, like or roundabout, and there can be like swings up and down. And Awakened is just consistently good, but that's why I like it in teams more because I just know that I'll win a game by knowing what I'm against because I know how to play it. And there's tricks that your opponent doesn't expect. Like if you know your opponent's got a reactive move strat, then they can play around that. But when your opponent, like when Awakened punishes you or punishes your opponent for your opponent playing the game normally, like they normally would. So like I'm shooting that unit, okay, I get to do X, Y, and Z. I'm going to charge this unit, okay. I get to pile and consolidate res, as I mentioned before. You just gain distance, gain space. You can start just like shifting OC everywhere. As soon as your opponent starts interacting with you, they start losing. That's like why Awaken is so strong.
yeah. No, I agree. I think Awaken is the better one.
Yeah,
But
it's just
one of the
nasty.
reasons I think is that the design space of the list that you can build in Awakened are greater than the ones you can in Star Shatter. Star Shatter, for
Yeah,
me, is pretty much shoehorned into Silent King DDAs. You can take a squad of Wraiths or two squads of Wraiths, but they're more for like an anchor Whereas you still kind of want that core. It's like 1,000 points, and that's the core. And then you've still got the barge and the enhancement carriers and stuff. Whereas in Awakened, you can build warriors, you can build wraiths, you can still go to Silent King and do DAs if you wanted to, because they're still viable. You've still got good strats that support the DDAs.
Great strats.
You've Silent King shooting back when something dies is something that I always forget to use, but it's a really good strat because getting to shoot the Silent King with all of his weapons on normal ballistic skill for 2 CP with rerolls, it can just delete another tank, even though on their turn, like you can do more damage to them than they can to you sometimes, and it also plays the primary better than Star Shatter does. So they both do the secondaries about equally. Maybe Star Shatter's better at killing secondaries because it can be more consistent in damage, but the Awaken can play the primary better. You got the feel no pain characters that you can push out early. You got wraiths or warriors that can push out and hold objectives. So and you've still got the Veil, and the Veil is a criminally underused enhancement. Like even when I take it, I hardly ever use it, but the threat of activation is strong enough, and that's why we take Ophidians, right? Because we threaten to take their sticky off them, even though we're looking at it going, I wish this was 80 points of literally anything else. We still take them. They sit on our backfield. We go, right, I'll pick the Ophidians up. Well, nothing for them to do. I'll just go back down there again because they don't threaten anything. If they were shooting units, I would be much more likely to take them than melee units, because then at least I could like come down, cut some angle, maybe take some pot shots at some guys that I know I'm going to kill, and then they're safe. But because they have to charge, it's like a 9-inch, and you never make 9 inches. So
like I was going to say, it's like Awakened is basically like the invasion fleet of Necrons. Like it's just got great all-round strats. It's the Gladius of Necrons. It's just got good like +1 strength and AP in combat, really good. On our unit, like bumping up Scorpex to strength 8 or the Scorpex Lord to 11, AP 4 and 3. Fucking hell, that's so strong. I used it like every game.
Or race to go to 7-2-2.
Re-rolling in shooting at half range, even just the warriors, like with the lethals, it stacks up really well. Like the rezzing obviously is just like the main strat. They're bringing the characters back, getting a second use, getting a phase lock, second use out of these incredibly good characters like the Scorpet Lords and Zeraz, and all of your characters being safe from precision, basically. It's just like an amazing arsenal that we've got. Like the shoot back one, I don't ever use because like I can't use it with the warriors that much. Like it's very very rare I'll ever use because I need the CP for the res, right? But it's just amazing, and if you can just play it right, it just is so difficult to stop. I just don't like it on GW because of how open the spaces between your deployment zone in the middle, so they can always like come round and shoot into the back into the warriors. That's the hard part.
I mean, if you're taking Amnitics with a Lord or 6 normal locusts, then the shootback strat is actually quite good on those as well. But it's because it has to be a character unit, and then we're not spending it on the Seraz, we're not spending it on the Scorpec Lord. So it's basically Silent King, warriors, could be Immortals, I guess. Like Immortals and Chronomancer are still okay in Awakened, but Awakened just buffs every unit in some way. Whereas Star Shatter's like it buffs every unit because they get +1 to hit. So things like Praetorians are even useful because they're hitting on 2s all of a sudden. But it's a slightly smaller subset because the units that you take aren't quite so viable. And then obviously tailors off from there. And I still think Corptec Core is the fifth one, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I can totally see it. It's like I'm really umming and ahhing between it, but I understand both points. But I think like Star Shadow is really strong. Wraiths are good, but again, they are good. They're just not. I just don't like playing them. I like just skewing. Like Wraiths are designed there just to fucking sit there, and then sometimes you have like a squad that will go off, but they can once you start losing like half of them, it's so hard to get back up.
Unless you're in Awakened, where you've got that strat and you've got the barge.
And you need a reanimator nearby. But like when you're trying to send a squad to attack with, it's getting like it does get cut down quite easily, and more profiles are better. Like you can precision the Technomancer a lot easier, so then they're having to like string out, keep safe and stuff. And like the China list, for example, which is for WTC, which is literally just 18 Wraiths, Silent King 2 DDAs. like, and with thralls, like there's two squads of thralls and a reanimator and stuff. But it's literally just skew heavy, like sit behind a wall and then run out in the last, like just blunt the shit out of you. But then it plays the same way as warriors, but warriors can just infect the whole board. And again, if your opponent does something which they would usually do in a game, which is okay, then you'll get punished for it every time. But yeah, I think we pretty much covered it all. We've been chatting for a while. It's been a long one, but I think it's been really good. Do you have anything else that you want to cover?
Well, we'll just have a look, see if we
Is there a
do
Meta
have
Monday out yet?
a new Meta Monday while we've been waffling.
Excellent. Yeah, there wasn't one before we started, so I'm glad that
Here,
we've waited long enough.
okay, you can tell by the fact I've been scrolling for a while. Necrons have a 40% win rate, so we have improved a little bit. Awakened
Yeah,
Dynasty, Hypercrypt, Star Shatter, Phalanx Court. In that order of win percent. I'm sure you can show it on the screen.
yeah. I'm just going to share the screen now.
So not as bad. Like there's more armies below us than there were before.
Sisters are chilling.
Yeah,
I like
that's
this. Is much easier to read, by the way, than his usual thing. So I'm glad he's
yeah.
changed
I think
this.
he's been getting a lot of feedback. Yeah, the fact that sisters suddenly have appeared out of nowhere, it reminds me of what happened last time because for a while the sisters book came out and was like, nah. Well, in Index, sorry, and then somebody discovered the Triumph.
I think it was Jack.
And then all of a sudden, the Triumph became the thing, and Sisters went whoop right to the top of the meta.
Yeah, Jack Tight is like an absolute mastermind at Sisters. He discovered a lot of the combos, and he was also the first person that discovered using like the solo Canoness with a 2-up invuln.
Yeah, sod that.
Yeah,
But
that is an annoying
yeah,
piece of
it,
shit.
it's. I am genuinely perplexed as to why all of a sudden they have appeared. Like, are they particularly good into knights? Like, you know,
Val's unit's really good, and it's
yeah,
just
but that's
the amount of melters,
one unit. It deletes
and
one knight, but then it dies, right?
it's just got like a lot of go. It does have a lot of like go.
Mm.
It push. I can't imagine it's an answer to knights,
I
but
mean, lack of
there are a lot,
Overwatch is
and you've got
actually
to remember that most of the field are not going to be, you know, great with knights and know how hard to push, when to push. And sisters aren't played that often, so I imagine that matchup isn't practiced enough.
But
Much.
if you look at Knights, both of them down to 53% with no
That's what I
event
mean.
this week.
Yeah.
Whereas Sisters have got 3, Death Guard 4, Gene Sealer Cults 2, Drakari 1, Thousand Suns no events, Eldari 4, bleh, and
Eldari is crazy good.
then Chaos Knights, Imperial Knights none. I mean, obviously we've also had none.
Eldar take a fat dump on Imperial Knight on knights in general. To be honest, like the 10-man squad of fire dragons with sustained, and then they just get back into transport, and then the 30 swooping hawks that do just kill a knight by themselves.
Yeah, they and also because they're just all weedy T3-1 wound. A lot of the knight's weapons are just kind of pointless because
Yeah,
oh look, I've got this strength, this damage, 12 good. Well, I'll just kill
I'm
that
going to
one.
shoot this battle cannon into you. Yes, those 5 guys are really dead.
Yeah,
Like it's
exactly.
Yeah, so Eldar are very, very good into knights. So like, I can imagine that the surge up in Eldar have reduced that down. But it's like the World Eaters, like playing. I've seen that 80 Berserker list played, and it has some weaknesses, but god damn, has it got some jank, and I love that. I love like just watching it play because it's got the blood surge, and you can like obviously because it's a 20-man, and you can have the Juggerlord in there. It gets like 3 extra inches to move 10, so the unit moves 10, and then you can just like blood surge in a massive arc flat 8.
Yeah, it
Sick.
reminds me of original ACDC a little bit
Yeah,
when that first
ACDC is
came
really
out,
good.
and the Primaris Brethren when
Like
that
the
first
highest
came out.
scorer at Allies was ACDC, which was Bruce from Team Scotland. I think he got 20, 20, 20, 16, 20. Like he just absolutely ran over people because Scotland just used Innes and Bruce to pin a list,
Yeah, but
and then Bruce would just like smash it.
let's be honest. There were some easy teams like Stonehammer to beat, right?
There were a couple. There
That's
were
what
a
you
couple.
said. That's what you said. So
What did I say?
Stonehammer are just easy.
I didn't say they were easy.
Yeah, you did.
There's no video evidence. I said they were good practice.
Oh.
Good warm up.
Yeah, look at Grey Knights at 34%. I think they're just waiting for their book, right?
Yeah, the shit book that's shit.
It's really? How can you say it's shit? You
Because
can
I've read it.
score and then pick up. Matt, behave.
I've read it.
You can score and then pick up.
It doesn't matter.
If
You
we
just
had
have
that strat,
primary in one detachment, and it's part of the detachment rule. They have a strat that is also the detachment rule. It's just terrible. One of the detachment. Oh, I'm not even going to get in a rant. I'll be here for another hour and fucking 45.
Grey
Like,
Knights,
I mean,
Grey Knights book's going to be really good. Just
I'm going
trust
to
me.
be practicing it a lot, but it's not great. 24% warp teleport strike force. Good lord. But yeah, all right. Well, it's been a long
And
one this time, but I'm hoping everybody enjoyed it because I think we're probably going to call it. Have you got any events coming up in any time soon?
none at all. I have no idea what I'm going to be playing in.
I've got War Masters a week tomorrow,
Yeah, you
so
do.
that's fun.
That'll be good.
I'm very much looking forward
Are
to it.
we doing a pod next week, or will you be on your
No,
travel?
I'm traveling Monday, so and I'm busy pretty much now. So you're doing some of our Know Thy Enemies with Chris Radford, right? And
Yeah, hopefully.
yeah, and hopefully Reese. I'll be back 2 weeks time, basically.
I mean, hell, we might be
Next
able to
one.
do a Matt on location.
I'm gonna try that. You'll have to message me while I'm there because I will try and do like a video of me doing the playing War Masters or how my rounds went or whatever. If
Oh,
people,
there's got to be someone with a laptop you can borrow
I'll just
for
have my.
half an hour.
I can use I can upload it on my phone.
Of
If I just
course,
do a
I mean,
short.
doing little shorts on how your rounds went would be pretty
Yeah,
cool.
I'll try that.
It's something we spoke about a while ago, but we never actually did because we just
I'm just
kept.
forgetful. We're just
Yeah,
forgetful people. We're two
like yeah,
forgetful guys.
we'll take pictures of our games and then we'll do run throughs and then we start and then like, oh, do you take pictures? Ah, I forgot.
That's it. I'll just try and set that reminder on the scoring app.
I did that, and then you just go, oh, for God's sake, get rid of it. I've got no time for this. We've got 20
Yeah,
minutes left. We're on turn 4.
that's it. All
Yeah.
right. Well, thank you for everyone for watching. It's been a bit of a longer one. We hope you enjoyed. Let us know how you liked it in the comments and all that shit. If we can improve on anything, probably won't. But
No, we definitely will. Come
we'll
on,
get
Matt.
new cameras.
At least try
His
and
face.
at least pretend, right?
Yes, his face will get less red. Our cameras will get better. It's
Unless I go
all
play some golf in the sun. Yeah.
yeah, some more golf. But yeah, thank you everyone for watching. We'll catch you in a bit.